Welcome back to lecture 23, problem session 6. Today we will see some previous year problem based on definite integration and improper integration, which I have covered in lecture 21A, 21B, 22A and 22B. So this is a very important lecture to understand the concepts till now we have studied. So let's start with first problem. Evaluate the integral 0 to 2 pi 3 upon 9 plus sine square theta d theta. This is a ESC exam 2017 paper, not ECE, it's the ESE. Okay, so the problem is 0 to 2 pi 3 over 9 plus sine square theta d theta. Revise one property I told you, 0 to 2a fx dx is equal to twice 0 to a fx dx provided f of 2a minus x is equal to fx and 0 f of 2a minus x is equal to minus fx. So what is the use of this property? If you remember, I told you when the value at 2a and the value at 0 is same, we always use this property. We can use this property in other cases also, but when the value of the given integral, the given the integrand function, the given function is 3 upon 9 plus sine square theta, is same on upper limit and lower limit, then we always apply this limit. So if you check, at 2 pi sine theta is 0 and 0 at sine theta is 0, it means the value is same. So we have to apply this limit. So let's check here. So you can see that the function f theta is 3 over 9 plus sine square theta. Now we have to check f of 2 pi minus theta because we have 2 pi in place of 2a. So it will be 3 upon 9 plus sine square 2 pi minus theta. We know that sine 360 minus theta is minus sine theta, but due to square sign, it is again 9 square theta, means equal to f of theta. So we can write this integral at 2 times 0 to pi 3 over 9 plus sine square theta d theta. Now again, if we see at pi this value is 0, at 0 this value is 0. It means the value is 3 by 9 in both the cases. So again we will check, but this time 2a is going to be changed. F theta is your 3 over 9 plus sine square theta, but f of 2a minus theta is now pi minus theta. Now this will play the role of 2a here. So it will be 3 over 9 plus sine square pi minus theta. Sine 180 minus theta is sine theta. So it is again 3 plus sine square theta is equal to f theta. Means this integral can be now written as 2 into 2 into 0 to pi by 2. We will break the limit in the half. Pi will break and half, it means pi by 2. 3 over 9 plus sine square theta d theta. So the integral now is reduced integral is 4 times 0 to pi by 2 3 over 9 plus sine square theta d theta. So I told you in the lecture 21, if you have integration in the form of d theta over a plus b sine square theta or d theta over a plus b cos square theta. In this case, we multiply sec square theta in numerator and denominator, so it will make tan square theta, and derivative of tan theta is sec square theta. So we will try to make tan theta this, and for this we will try to multiply cot theta and cosec square theta in the numerator. If both are present, like a cos square theta plus b sin square theta, then we directly can take common cos square theta or sin square theta. So for making tan square theta, we will divide by cos square theta in numerator and denominator or multiply with sec square theta. So it will be 9 sec square theta plus tan square theta d theta. So it will be 4 times 0 to pi by 2, 3 sec square theta over 9 sec square theta can be written as 9 plus 9 tan square theta, because sec square theta is 1 plus tan square theta d theta. So 3 we can take outside, it will be 12 0 to pi by 2 sec square theta over 9 plus 10 tan square theta. We can write a root 10 tan theta whole square d theta, and the derivative of tan theta is present in the numerator. Now suppose root 2 tan theta as some v, so root 2 sec square theta d theta will be dv. It means sec square theta d theta will be 1 by root 10 dv. Change of limit. When theta equal to pi by 2, v will tends to infinity. When theta equal to 0, v will tends to 0. It will be 12 into 0 to infinity. 1 by root 10 we can take outside now. 1 over 9 plus v square dv. Now 9 can be written as 1 over 3 square plus v square dv. 3 square plus v square dv. And we have already discussed this integration. 1 over a square plus x square dx is 1 upon a tan inverse x upon a. You can see my lecture 21a. So it will be 1 upon 3 tan inverse v by 3, and limit is 0 to infinity. So it will cancel out 4 by root 10 into tan inverse infinity is pi by 2 and tan inverse 0 is 0. So it will give you 2 pi by root 10. So 2 pi by root 10 is the correct answer for this question. So this is a important question asked in the ESE exam based on definite integration and also a special kind of indefinite integration and the use of the important property. We have to break 2 times that property. The second question is a 2017 CS second paper. Here is correction in the question. Fx is actually r sine pi x by 2 plus s, and given is f dash 1 by 2 is equal to root. Make the correction in the question. This is the separate portion and the derivative at 1 by 2 is root. So, and 0 to 1 fx dx is 2r upon pi. Then find the value of r and s. So let's see. We have the derivative condition. So first derivative. So f dash x will be r, derivative of sine is cos pi x by 2, and the derivative of pi x by 2 with respect to x will be pi by 2, and derivative of s will be 0 because s is constant. Now f dash x you have r into pi by 2 into cos pi x by 2 at x equal to 1 by 2, because you have the value at x equal to 1 by 2. So f dash 1 by 2 is r pi by 2 into cos pi by 2 into 1 by 2 at x equal to 1 by 2. So this value is equal to root 2. So r pi by 2 into 1 by root 2. Cos pi by 4 is 1 by root 2, and if you take in the left side, r will be 4 upon pi. So now you have the value of constant r. At least 2 options are cancelled out. Now we have to check the value of s. So if you have value of r, it means you have fx in the terms of r now. So we can put later that. So you have the value of r now. Use the value of fx in the given equation. The given equation is now you have r as 4 upon pi, and fx is your r sine pi x by 2 plus s. Remember this. This one the question. Derivative at 1 by 2 is root 2. Now 0 to 1 fx. Put the value of fx here. r sine pi x by 2 plus as dx equal to 2r upon pi. Separate it. 0 to 1 sine pi x by 2 dx plus 0 to 1 s dx equal to 2r over pi. So the integration of sine will be minus cos pi x by 2 over pi by 2 0 to 1 plus s into x 0 to 1 equal to 2r over pi. So it will be r minus 2 upon pi. If you put x equal to 1, you will get cos pi by 2. If you put x equal to 0, you will get cos 0 plus s equal to 2r over pi. You can see that cos 90 is 0 and this will be minus minus plus. So it will be 2r upon pi plus s equal to 2r upon pi. It means s equal to 0. So the correct answer is C option when r is equal to 4 upon pi and s equal to 0. So this is also a good question based on definite integration. Let's see third problem. Integration 0 to 1 sine inverse x whole square over under root 1 minus x square d. This is very easy problem because the derivative of sine inverse x is present in the denominator. So if we assume sine inverse x as a t, then it's a derivative 1 over under 1 minus x square dx equal to dt. And the change of limit as x tending to 1, it will tend to sine inverse 1, that's pi by 2, and as x tending to 0, it is sine 0, 0. So it will be t square into dt. And the integration of t square is t cube by 3, 0 to pi by 2. So it will be pi cube by 8 into 3, and it means 20. So this is the answer of this integration. If we see the fourth problem, this is an important problem. Integration 0 to 2 pi mod a x into sine x dx equal to k into pi. What is the value of k? If you see in this given domain 0 to 2 pi, the graph of sine x is look like this. The graph of sine x is look like this. If you break the mod sine x breaking is like this. Sine x when x belongs to 0 to pi. But in pi to 2 pi, sine x is negative. So making it positive, we have to give minus sign. This is covering first and second quadrant. And in these two quadrants, sine x is positive. But in the third and fourth quadrant, sine is negative. So we have to give minus sign. That's why it will become positive ultimately. And x is between 0 to 2 pi. It means x is already positive here. So there is no need. We can write like this also. X mod sine x dx. Why? Because x is positive in this given domain. So there is no meaning of magnitude sign on x here. Now we can break it. 0 to pi. X 0 to pi mod sine x is sine x only. Plus pi to 2 pi x into minus sine x dx. Or we can say that this function is breaking, we see the graph of mod sine x, then also we can take the help. This will get the same breaking here. Okay. If we check the differentiability, then you can see this is not differentiable, I think, at pi, because at pi, it right hand derivative, that is cos x, and left hand right hand derivative is minus cos x, and left hand derivative is plus cos x. So it will go to 1 and minus 1, minus 1 and 1. So at pi mod sin x is not differentiable. You can see another region also, and you can see that by graph also. So at this point mod sin x is not differentiable. That's why I am using the definite integration property. Now if you use integration by part here, this is your first function, this is your second function. So I can solve one by one here. I'm solving this integration. I1 plus I2 is equal to k into pi. I think now you can calculate it. This value will come ultimately 4 pi equal to k pi, and k will be your. This is the hint for you. Use the first and second part, first into second, and using integration by part formula, you can find the value of k here. In the problem 5, it is 0 to 2 x minus 1 whole square sine x minus 1 over x minus 1 whole square plus cos x minus 1 dx. See, x minus 1 is coming in every factor. Now if we suppose x minus 1 equal to t, it will give you the question in very good form. Why? You can see that dx equal to dt, there is a no change, but the limit is going to be changed. When x is equal to 2, the upper limit will go to 1. When x equal to 0, the lower limit will be minus 1. So it will be t square sine t over t square plus cos t dt. So for this type of integration, minus a to a f t dt, I told you the result, it is 2 times 0 to a f t dt when ft is an even function. You can see my lecture 21b, and it is 0 if ft is an odd function. So check, but this will work when limit is in the form of minus a to a, and this limit is in the form of minus a to a form if a equal to 1. So what is your ft here? Ft is your t square sine t over t square plus cos t. So check f of minus t. It is not going to be changed. Sine minus theta is minus sine theta. Denominator t square is not going to be changed. Cos minus theta is cos theta, not going to be changed. So this is equal to minus ft. It means the function is odd. When the odd function, this integration is 0. There is no need to calculate it. Using property, you can claim this integration is 0. The next problem is 0 to pi by 6 cos to the power 4 3 theta sine to the power 3 6 theta d theta. Very important question. Important question. You can see that this angle is in the double of this angle. So we use the formula sine 2a, that is 2 sine a cos a. By using this formula, your angle will be same in each factor. So it will be cos to the power 4 theta into 2 sine 3 theta cos 3 theta whole cube d theta. We can write sine 6 theta can be written as sine 2 into 3 theta. Then you can write it 2 sine 3 theta into cos 3 theta. I am using this result here. 2 cube means 8 we can take outside, 0 to pi by 6. Cos to the power 4 and 3, here it is 3 theta. So it will be cos to the power 7 into 3 theta into sine cube into 3 theta d theta. Now 3 theta, we can assume a new variable as v. So 3 d theta will be dv. It means d theta will be 1 upon 3 dv. So it will be 8 by 3. Change of limit is very important. When you substitute, always change the limit. 0 to pi by 2 cos to the power 7v into sine to the power 3v dv. Now use Wally formula. I teach in the previous lecture 22b. Wally formula. Alpha, beta and gamma function. I told you 0 to pi by 2 cos to the power p theta sine to the power q theta d theta is equal to gamma p plus 1 by 2 gamma q plus 1 by 2 over 2 gamma p plus q plus 2 by 2. If you compare here, p is 7 and q is 3. So it is gamma 7 plus 1 by 2 means 8 by 2. Gamma 3 plus 1 by 2 means 4 by 2 over 2 gamma 7 plus 3 plus 2 means 7 plus 3 10 plus 2 by 6. So it is 8 by 3 into gamma 4 gamma 2 over 2 gamma 6. And I told you when gamma is with its positive integer, it will break into the factorial function. So it will give you, I'm calculating here, it will give you 8 by 3 into 3 factorial into 1 factorial over, I'm using this result, gamma n plus 1 equal to factorial n if n is positive integer over 2 into factorial 5. 2 over factorial 5. If you simplify it, you will get this integral is equal to 1 by 50. You can simplify it. This integral is equal to 1 by 50. So this is a very good question using Wali formula. I have discussed in the gamma and beta function lecture. The next problem is also a gamma function integration, 1 over root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e to the power minus x square by 2 dx. So a similar question is asked in the gate 1 upon root 2 pi minus infinity to infinity e square by 8 dx. Similar problem. So I am going to solve this problem. Similarly, you can try this one. So how I am going to solve this problem? Firstly, you see that we can write like this, x by root 2 whole square dx. Now replace x by root 2 as d. So dx will be root 2 dv. Root 2 I am taking in the right hand side. Limit is not going to be changed. It will be minus infinity to infinity only. It will be e to the power minus b square into root 2 dv. Now root 2 we can take outside, this will be cancelled out. So 1 over root pi minus infinity to infinity my e to the power minus b square dv. Remember my gamma lecture 22b. I told you minus infinity to infinity e to the power minus b square dv is under root pi, or 2 times 0 to infinity e to the power minus b square dv is equal to under root pi. You can see my extension. So it will be 1 upon root pi into root pi, and you can see the proof of this also by replacing b square equal to some y. It will convert in the gamma half function. It is nothing else, it is gamma half, and gamma half is under root pi. You can see my structure. So it will be 1. The value of this integration will be 1. The next question is integration minus a to a sine to the power 6x dx. I am separating this integration, minus a to a sine to the power 7x dx. Use the result minus a to a of t dt. I told you it will be 2 times 0 to a of t dt if f t is an even function is equal to minus ft. If it is 0, if f of minus t is equal to minus ft. If it is odd function, this integration will be odd. Integration will be 0. Here made correction, it will be minus t. Now you can see that if we suppose f1x as sine to the power 6x and use f1 minus x, it will be sine to the power 6 because the power is even number. So this is an even function, so it can be written as 2 times 0 to a sine to the power 6x dx. Plus, now check for this function. If we suppose f2x as sine to the power 7x, then f2 minus x is sine to the power 7 minus x. Now it will be minus x to x because sine minus theta and minus sine theta due to odd power minus sign will come outside, and due to odd function this integration will be 0. So this is equal to the A option here. In the ninth problem, it is a limit a tending to infinity 1 to a 1 over x to the power 4 dx. It is a improper integration of kind 1 because upper limit is tending to infinity. When one or both limit is tending to infinity, then the integration is called improper integration of first kind. So firstly we will evaluate this integration, then we will apply the limit. So this can be written as 1 to a x to the power minus 4 dx. So limit a tending to infinity x to the power minus 4 plus 1 over minus 4 plus 1. Apply the integration formula 1 to a. Limit a tending to infinity, it will be minus 1 upon 3, 1 over a cube, and minus plus 1 by 3. Minus plus 1 by 3. If you see, if you apply the limit, upper limit minus lower limit, upper limit is x, at a x to the minus 3 will go to the denominator, it will be positive, and minus 1 by 3 will take outside, will be plus. Okay, as a tending to infinity, this term is tending to 0. So the integration is converging to which value? Converging to 1 by 3. And using p-test also, if you apply 1 to infinity as a tending to infinity x to the power 4 dx, if you compare with 1 to infinity 1 over x to the power p dx, if p is greater than 1, then this integration always converges. I have already discussed this p-test in lecture 21a. So you can see more detail for this type of problems in 21a. Sorry, 22a. 22. The next problem is minus 1 to 1, 1 over x square dx. So here x is belonging between minus 1 to 1. But fx equal to 1 over x square is not continuous at x equal to 0. Even the upper limit and lower limits are finite, but the function is piecewise continuous. It means this is also improper integration of second kind. You can see my lecture 22b. I have already discussed this. 21b, 21a. I have discussed this type of problems. So which point is disturbing? 0 is disturbing. So 1 over x square dx plus 0 to 1 over x square dx. Now I told you we replace limit epsilon tending to 0 minus 1 to epsilon 1 over x square dx plus epsilon to 1 over x square dx. Limit epsilon tending to 0, integration of 1 upon x square is minus 1 by x minus 1 to epsilon plus minus 1 by x epsilon to 1. So limit epsilon tending to 0, it will be minus 1 upon epsilon minus plus 1. It will be minus 1, 1 minus 1 upon epsilon. We can take minus sign outside, then it will be plus 1. Okay. Now if you take minus sign here, it will be 1 minus 1 upon epsilon. So if we take 1 upon epsilon minus plus 1, so it will go to, here we have to see carefully, as x is less than 0 here. So we have to take minus epsilon or 2 epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. Limit epsilon 2 tending to 0, or you take minus sign epsilon with minus sign. So it will be epsilon 1 here, and here it will be limit epsilon 2 tending to 0. So it will tending to limit epsilon 1 tending to 0 minus 1 over epsilon 1 plus 1 plus limit epsilon 2 tending to 0 minus 1 minus epsilon 2. As epsilon 1, epsilon 2 tending to infinity, it is tending to infinity. As epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 tending to 0, this integral tending to infinity. Or another technique, because both are 0, you can think both are same, but here it is left hand limit, it is the right hand limit. So the another way to write this integral is, you can write like this also. Limit epsilon tending to 0, if you want in one variable, then it will be minus epsilon 1 over x square dx plus limit epsilon tending to 0 epsilon to 1 upon x square dx. Because here you are taking the right hand value, here you are taking left hand value, and here epsilon is always positive. So for the left hand limit, it will be 0 minus h. It means epsilon must be negative. So we are supplying minus sign here due to this reason. Or you take epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. So there are two ways. So it is tending to infinity, not tending to 2. It is tending to infinity. Correct in the beta gamma function, this correction also will be there. In the 11th problem, we have phi x as 0 to x square root t dt. Then what will be the d phi over dx? Use the Leibniz rule. I told you the differentiation of integration. If the limit is in the form of phi x to psi x ft dt, then what is the rule? You put upper limit in the place of t, differentiation of upper limit, minus put lower limit in the place of t, differentiation of lower limit. I have discussed this property in lecture 21b and also in the lecture 15 limit chapter. So value of upper limit in the place of t, so it will be under root x square into d by dx of x square minus value of lower limit in the place of t, so it will be 0, so it will be 2x into under root x square will be x, so it will be 2x square. So 2x square will be the correct option for this problem. The value of the integral 0 to 1 over root 1 minus x dx. So this is the problem. 0 to 1 over under root 1 minus x dx. So many methods are there. You can put 1 minus x square, 1 minus x equal to t. But if you see carefully, then this integration, if we compare with a to b of x dx, a and b are finite here, but fx has discontinuity, at x equal to 1. So it is an improper integration of second kind. So if you want, you can write like this also. X to the power 1 minus 1 minus x to the power 1 by 2 minus 1 dx. This is equal to this integration. Okay. 1 by 2 minus 1 means minus 1 by 2. And now you can compare with 0 to 1 x to the power m minus 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 dx. I told you this is the beta function, which is a kind of second kind improper integration, that is equal to gamma m gamma n over gamma n plus n. If you compare here, m is 1, n is 1 by 2 over m plus n, n is 1 plus 1 by 2. So gamma 1 is 1, gamma 1 by 2 is root pi, gamma 3 by 2 can be written as 1 by 2 into root pi is cancelled, so answer will be 2. So 2 will be the answer for this question. The next problem is 0 to pi x square into cos x dx. So you let as a first function, this is a second function. So first function is outside, integration of second function 0 to pi minus 0 to pi derivative of first function integration of second function dx. If you put upper limit, then sin pi is pi 0 and 0 it will be 0. So minus 2 0 to pi x sin x dx. Now you take again, it is a first function, it is a second function, it is a integration by part integration. So first is outside, integration of second is minus cos x 0 to pi minus 0 to pi derivative of x is 1 and integration of sin x is minus cos x dx. So now it will be minus 2. Upper limit will minus pi, cos pi is minus 1, so it will be pi. 0, it will be 0, minus 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 plus, and integration of cos x will be the sin x 0 to pi. So it will give you minus 2 pi because upper limit and lower limit both sin pi will tend into 0. So the answer will be minus 2 pi. So 2 times we have to use integration by part for this problem. The next problem is 1 to e root x log x dx. So I'm giving you just substitution. Log x equal to t you replace. So 1, or you can say x equal to e to the power t. Then dx will be e to the power t dt. Change of limit you can see. As x equal to e, log e will become 1. As x equal to 1, log 1 will become 0. Under root x means under root e to the power t into log x means t, e dx means e to the power t dt. So it will convert like this, t into e to the power 3t by 2. You can write t by 2, e to the power t by 2 into e to the power t, base is same, power we can add dt. Now use first into second. First function into second function, and you can find the integration of this problem. You can find the integration of this problem. So I think if you calculate this, you will get the integration is C option. The C option you will get. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. And the last problem is 0 to a. This type of problem is the important problem. It can be asked in many forms over root x plus under root a minus x dx. Now suppose this is equation 1. If you have 0 to b fx dx, I told you the property, this is equal to 0 to b f of b minus x dx. Use the same property, you can replace x by a minus x. Then it will be root a minus x over root a minus x plus root a minus x will be root a minus x dx. So it will become 0 to a root a minus x over root a minus x plus root x. Equation number 2. Now if you add both the equation, denominator is same, so root a minus x plus this will be dx plus root x. Numerator will be root x plus root a minus x dx. Numerator is cancelled out, so it will be 0 to a dx. Now 2i will be x only 0 to a, so the 2i will be the a, so integration will be a by 2. Many times you will get same type of problem, and the answer is a by 2 or sum of the average of the limits. Average of the limits. We have one more problem. One more example I am discussing here. Example 16. Evaluate the integration 0 to infinity y to the power 1 by 2 e to the power minus y cube dy. If y cube is not there, then we can solve this integration using gamma function. But due to y cube, we cannot use gamma function. So firstly, we have to replace the y cube by some t. Then it will be y will be t to the power 1 by 3 t. Y will be t to the power 1 by 3. So dy will be 1 by 3 t to the power minus 2 by 3 dt. Now if you put the value, the integration will be, limit will be same here. Y to the power 1 by 2 is t to the power 2 by 3 into e to the power minus t. 1 by 3 t to the power minus 2 by 3 dt. 1 by 2 will be your 1 by 6 actually. 1 by 6. 1 by 6. So it will be 0 to infinity e to the power minus t. 1 by 3 you can take outside. E to the power 1 by 6 minus 2 by 3 will be minus 1 by 2 dt. T to the power minus 1 by 2 dt. Now you can write like this: 1 by 3, 0 to infinity e to the power minus t, t to the power 1 by 2 minus 1 dt. So this is nothing else. This is the definition of gamma function. If you compare 0 to infinity to the power minus t, t to the power n minus t dt, this is equal to gamma n. So it is 1 by 3 gamma 1 by 2 gamma 1 by 2 is root pi by 3. So root pi by 3 is the answer of this problem. So these are some important problems asked in the previous year based on the definite integration and improper integration. I hope you will try another problem asked in the previous year. Okay, thank you. In the next lecture, we will start partial derivatives and Euler's theorem.